Welcome back to our channel where we explore the fascinating world of psychology. Today, we're diving deep into a captivating and somewhat chilling topic, the Dark Triad. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our future videos. In the realm of psychology, there exists a phenomenon known as the Dark Triad. This term refers to a trio of personality traits: Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and Psychopathy. These traits are considered dark due to the harmful behaviors typically associated with them. Each trait within the Dark Triad is distinct, yet they often overlap in reality. This means that an individual who scores highly on a Dark Triad assessment likely exhibits all three traits, with blurred boundaries. It can be challenging to determine where one trait ends and another begins. The concept of the Dark Triad was first discussed in 1998 by a group of psychology experts. They proposed that these three traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, often occur together. In 2002, psychologists Paul Huss and Williams gave this concept its ominous name, the Dark Triad. A hot topic in the study of the Dark Triad is the age-old debate of nature versus nurture. Are individuals with these traits born this way, or are they shaped by their environment? Research suggests that there is a significant genetic component to the Dark Triad. However, the traits of narcissism and psychopathy have a higher heritability than Machiavellianism. Perhaps unsettlingly, studies have shown that dark triadic traits are well represented in upper-level management. As we unpack the components of the Dark Triad, it will become clear why this might be the case. Continuing our exploration of the Dark Triad, let's delve into the first trait, narcissism. The term narcissism was first coined by Sigmund Freud in his 1914 essay on narcissism, drawing inspiration from the Greek myth of Narcissus. Narcissus was a hunter known for his extraordinary beauty, but his self-obsession led to his tragic end, a fitting metaphor for the trait of narcissism. Narcissism is characterized by excessive self-admiration and obsession with one's physical appearance. Narcissists are often easy to spot due to their actions and beliefs. They have a sense of superiority and entitlement, often expecting others to cater to their needs without reciprocation. They strive to be the center of attention and are unrelenting in their pursuit of always being right. In the workplace, a narcissist will never take responsibility for team failures, instead deflecting blame onto others. In personal relationships, they demand that everything revolves around their preferences. If you encounter these signs of extreme self-centeredness, you might be dealing with a narcissist. Interestingly, narcissists are often type A perfectionists. They seek perfection in everything they do, believing they are perfect and therefore deserving of only perfection. They demand perfection from others in everything, from appearance to lifestyle choices. This relentless pursuit of perfection often leads to frustration and misery, as perfection is hard to come by in everyday life. Narcissists also have an unquenchable thirst for control. They believe they must be in control to achieve their desired level of perfection. They cannot trust others to maintain control, as they view others as lesser beings. This need for control can manifest in various ways, such as a narcissistic partner dictating every detail of your life, or a narcissistic supervisor micromanaging their employees' work. Furthermore, narcissists have no sense of boundaries. They have no problem intruding on your personal space and flouting social norms and rules. They believe these rules do not apply to them due to their perceived superiority. Now that you know what a narcissist looks like, you might be wondering how they control others. Narcissists are often very intelligent and able to blend into everyday life without drawing attention to themselves. They use their traits and skills, including deceit, to maintain control and create an altered reality where they are perfect and everyone else is inferior. Continuing our exploration of the Dark Triad, let's delve into the second trait, Machiavellianism. This term was coined from the works of Niccolo Machiavelli, a Renaissance-era Italian who is often referred to as the father of modern political science. In his most famous book, The Prince, Machiavelli endorsed the use of unscrupulous means to gain and maintain political power. This concept was later adopted by psychologists to describe a personality trait characterized by a lack of emotion and a desire to achieve at the expense of others through deceit, manipulation, or flouting common rules of decency and morality. Individuals who score highly on the Machiavellianism test, known as high max, value power, money, and competition above all else. They place little value on community building, family, and even love. On the other hand, those who score low on the Machiavellianism scale, known as low max, exhibit the opposite tendencies. High max are often successful and driven, unapologetically stepping on others' toes to get where they are. They despise structure and rules, preferring to create their own as they go along. They thrive in environments where they are free to be creative and are often drawn to business environments. High max are also highly opportunistic, viewing life as a game where every move must bring them closer to winning. High max, also known as individuals with high Machiavellianism traits, possess an uncanny ability to remain emotionally detached in every situation. They avoid commitments, making them challenging partners in relationships. For a high Mach, emotions are mere distractions that hinder them from achieving their goals. If you're married to a high Mach, you might find family time replaced with work commitments. To them, work must be done for power and money, regardless of neglecting family. Not every workaholic is a high Mach, but often this is the case. Because of their emotional detachment, high Machs are prone to having numerous sexual encounters, often with people they aren't well acquainted with. Oscar Wilde once said, "Everything in human life really is about sex, except sex. Sex is about power." This resonates with high Machs, who use their charm to convince conquest to join them in bed. Emotional detachment allows them to jump from person to person without feeling any commitment. Empathy, defined as the ability to share the feelings of another, is lacking in high Mach individuals. Their emotional detachment works to their benefit as they can easily harm others to get ahead without blinking an eye. Incapable of feeling someone's pain, they have no problem causing pain for personal gain. In competitive scenarios, high Machs make excellent teammates due to their competitiveness and willingness to use any means to get ahead. However, the same cannot be said for personal relationships. While many people may rush to team up with a high Mach, they don't make good friends. High Machs may throw you under the bus, collecting pawns and instruments for later use. High Machs, believing they are playing a game, rarely put their hearts on their sleeves. They are hard to figure out, often coming across as aloof. They prefer holding people at a distance, fearing divulging information that may cause them to lose. High Machs opt to be feared rather than loved, avoiding hand-holding and niceties reserved for friendships. Now let's explore the third trait, psychopathy. There are three main characteristics that distinguish a psychopath from any other person: boldness, lack of inhibition, and meanness. Psychopaths are bold and fearless, unafraid of venturing into unfamiliar territory, even when danger lurks. They often have high self-confidence and social assertiveness, enabling them to interact with people without any shyness or anxiety. Psychopaths exhibit poor impulse control, often overcome by their urges and reacting without considering the consequences. They are prone to snapping, and when they do, someone usually gets hurt. Common decency calls for a certain level of civility and kindness when dealing with others, but this is not something that psychopaths care about. They have no problem being the meanest person in the room, whether subtly or directly. In addition to these three main areas, psychopaths also tend to have other distinguishing characteristics. They are risk-takers, related to their boldness and lack of fear. While everyone else worries about their safety, psychopaths don't. This trait can be an advantage if used for good purposes. It's no surprise that psychopaths who have been nurtured in stable environments often become successful businessmen and politicians. Psychopaths are extremely charming. They'll put on their best suit, wear their best smile, and tell you everything you want to hear. Even though psychopaths can't feel or experience things the same way as everyone else, they're intelligent enough to know that people have certain expectations. So, while your date may not really be falling in love with you after one dinner, they know that they are supposed to act as if they are. Psychopaths are great students of life in that they are able to mimic normal behavior, thus allowing themselves to go undetected for the longest time. Do not fall for the charm of a psychopath. It is fickle and comes at a high price. Psychopaths often lack long-term goals. There is nothing thrilling about long-term goals, at least as far as the psychopath is concerned. Psychopaths live for the adrenaline rush of the moment and not the 10-year wait for a goal to materialize. The perennial bad boy who refuses to grow up and will not commit to a meaningful relationship could very well be a psychopath who simply cannot overcome his inherited genes. Now that I told you about the Dark Triad, it's time to say a few words about the Dark Triad Test. This test measures how one scores on the three personality traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. It's often used in various settings, particularly in courts of law, by the police, and by corporations to gauge their employees. The main reason why the Dark Triad Test is applied is to determine an individual's personality traits and possibly predict their behavior to prevent unsavory habits. It has been noted that people who score highly on the Dark Triad Test are more likely to cause trouble and social distress, be it in the workplace or even in their places of residence. At the same time, these individuals are also likely to have an easy time attaining leadership positions and gaining sexual partners. The Dark Triad Test requires you to answer a set of questions on various topics, including how you feel about yourself and others, whether you keep track of information that you could use to hurt others, and your general perspectives about life, death, and social interactions, among others. When self-administered, the Dark Triad Test can be a fun way to gauge how you score. However, when administered by courts of law and the police, the Dark Triad Test may not be very accurate as the respondent may intentionally alter their answers to look better than they actually are. This is a key limitation of the Dark Triad Test. If you're interested in taking the Dark Triad Test, there are several sites online where you can complete a test in a matter of minutes. But be careful about taking the results of the test too personally. Sometimes the answers you give are based on the kind of day that you are having and not on the kind of person that you are. In any case, if you consider yourself a decent human being who always treats others with respect and has never and would never harm others, then you should not worry too much about what a test says about you. On the other hand, if you always seem to run into conflicts and arguments and have to constantly talk yourself out of harming others, then a high score on the Dark Triad Test might be the explanation you have been waiting for all along. That's it for today's video. If you found this content interesting and want to learn more about psychology and the human mind, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us for more content like this. Thanks for watching.